Okay, here we go. And we are back. All right, let me go back to sharing my screen. And can you see that, Shah?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're back now with Shah. I had to pause the video to get him caught up with us and where we are. So we've talked about um, moving beyond immediate gratification. Let's see, human needs, what we eat, what we drink. Okay. Well, okay, so we're right around, let's see. All right, so we're right around in here. So this was something, Shaw, that I had prepared. It's actually some information taken out of my book. So you're going to see
Right.
these little numbers in here because those are reference numbers that go to my book. But I thought that this was something that would be really good to share today. So since we are, holistic health, well-being, and mind, body, and spirit, that's what I call this channel, mind, body, and spirit. I don't really have a, we have to come up with like a really better name for them, all this.
Yeah.
But you and I were kind of just thrown together in these unusual circumstances, right? Um,
Yeah.
I'm, we keep waiting for you to sing for us. We want you to come on and sing for us one week, you know? So,
Okay.
um, I have your music. I am gonna start sharing it. I'm telling you, I need to start sharing it. All right. So, um, we're talking about how the little things, what we feel like are sometimes little things, are really the important things, right? And it's just basic needs: food, clothing, shelter, but what kind of food, and to make sure that we stay hydrated, to try to eat as much fresh food as we can, and to try to stay away from processed foods and to eat um more like our ancestors did, right? Like in the
Yeah.
summer, it was like a lot of fruits and vegetables, more fresh grown things. And then in the winter months, it was more like, say, like meat and potatoes, because those
Yeah.
things that I don't know, like about maybe your grandmother, but well, probably not, because I'm old enough to be, well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But my grandmother had a root cellar. And because I grew up on a farm, there was always like sweet potatoes and regular potatoes and things that, that you kept like in what they called a root cellar or like a wine cellar or something like that, right? Things that
Yeah.
had a long um, shelf life if they were kept in cool conditions. And since
Yeah.
potatoes and onions and things like anything that grows underground could be kept in a root cellar for an extended period of time. And then I was talking about um, how, with everything that's going on and the way the world is changing, in order to eat healthy foods and know what we're eating, is the best thing is to grow our own foods and start learning how to can our own foods, to go back to the old ways. So do you remember, like, did your mom can or your grandmother can? Like,
Yeah, they had pantries, so they had all their, like you say, the potatoes, the spuds, their carrots.
right.
They're all stored away in the pantry. And yeah, you're right. It is seasonal food. We should always eat seasonal food because that's the natural flow of the balance of the months.
Right.
And it's a good thing here in Crete actually because a lot of the locals they won't eat things out of season, so they just keep with the seasons. And
Right.
I found that really fascinating, really like exciting because they're still keeping that culture.
Exactly. It's the ancient ways. It's ancient
Yeah,
wisdom. And our bodies are more in tune with eating that way, where in a sense, we've become spoiled because we can go to a grocery store and buy anything we want any time of the year. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for us,
yeah,
because the natural cycles of nature, and our body's natural rhythms, they they coincide with each other, right? There's
yeah,
a harmony, there's a balance to everything. So um, sometimes I often wonder if that's why people get things like years and years ago, like when I was when I was a kid, you never heard about like the winter blues or winter depression or things like that, which a lot of people do get. It is a real thing now, right? Like even I myself, if I don't get enough sun, I start to feel like mentally, I start to feel like not well, or I start to feel like I'm like getting lazy because I thrive, with the sun and I love the water and so if we get like what was it like was it January or February? It's already April. I think it was like half of January and almost every week in February. We had so much snow. I was like, oh my goodness, like I can't take it. I couldn't like I because it's not something I'm used to. I wasn't born in Alaska. I'm not used to, you know, uh, weeks and weeks of snow on end. That wasn't like normal weather for us. And our weather patterns are changing because everything in the world is changing. So, you know, it's important that we get all of the nutrition in all these different ways, like the complete mind, body, spirit, the sun, the nature, the water, all of these things are all, they seem like little teeny tiny things, but when you add them all up together, it's what makes us feel well. It's what makes us feel good about ourselves. Like I had mentioned earlier that if you're dehydrated, if we become dehydrated, if you ever notice like you feel like brain fog or your cognitive abilities seem to be impaired in some way, lots of times you'll find that it's because you're not drinking enough water. We're not staying hydrated enough. So, and a lot of people don't drink enough water. They think, oh, well, I had a cup of water today. This holds, oh, well, you're liters. Okay. So this holds, I'm going to go by bottles. That way it'll be easy. This holds two average size water bottles in this, right? I
Yeah.
drink like 2 to 3 of these a day. So I'm easily drinking about 8 to 10 cups of water a day. All right. Which is a little more than average, but I don't do caffeine. I don't eat or drink anything with caffeine. Well, that's not true. I eat chocolate, which has caffeine. That's the only really thing that I eat with caffeine. But
Yeah.
because my body it doesn't process it well. I mean, some people, I know people that can't move without their cup of coffee in the morning. I totally get it. I used to be one of those people. And then I got sick. And when I got sick, I wasn't allowed to have caffeine with the medication that I was taking at the time. And even though I don't take that medication anymore, I I never went back to caffeine. I don't feel a need for it. But
Yeah.
some people do. And then there's certain kinds of, well, you would know more. Don't you grow coffee in Crete? Don't you have your own coffee beans? Isn't there some kind of special coffee that comes
I'm
from
not sure.
Greece?
Maybe mainland, but they do. Yeah, they do have Greek coffee. There is Greek coffee here, definitely, and it's
Like
super,
a
super
kind of like a
delicious.
the Italians have like a cappuccino. I don't know, did the Greeks call it like a cappuccino as well?
No, they just
Really,
have
really
a
strong, but it's a special kind of,
yeah, like you get it in like a little shot kind of thing, and it's like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
back
it's
in the
super strong.
2009 when I first come here, I tried it and I was like, "What on earth is this?" I was shaking, my arms
Yeah, yeah,
going.
yeah. Yeah,
From that, I don't
what it
drink
does to
coffee
me.
anymore. I can't drink it because I start to shake.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, are becoming more sensitive
Mm,
to things like that. But then there's other
yeah,
people that could drink that all day long, and I'm like, I don't know how they do it. Like, I really don't know how to do they do it. But when we think about it, like our if we go way back, okay, even our ancestors, um, there are some health benefits to coffee, like the natural coffee bean itself, because there's certain oh, I can't remember the name, but there were certain tribes in I believe it was in South America and parts of Africa where they actually would chew on the coffee beans because it had some kind of a geez, I cannot remember what it's called. I'm gonna have to look it up because it'll drive me crazy now. But some kind of a health benefit. So
Yeah,
different, it's like just like different fruits and vegetables have different tastes. There are different kinds of coffee beans that have higher and lower levels of caffeine, but they also have positive health benefits for some people. It just
yeah,
depends on your body and the way you process. So, you being in Greece too, like with your diet, like when research was done, people in the they say that the Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest diets in the world. There's one other place, um, which I believe I'm trying to think of where it is,
I think it's near Nepal, near Thailand, around that area. I think you're
where
right
people
because
live the longest. They live well into like
yeah,
115 or something like that, and it's the like archaeologists. They did finally let some archaeologists in to study their diet and things like that, and they they eat like very, very simple. They have a very, very simple diet, but it's a um high protein, high fat diet, which we're taught isn't healthy for us. But because of the work that they do and the lifestyle that they live, they're burning these calories so quickly. So,
yeah,
you know, in your area, and the olives, you have the olives, like olive oil is like a really, really healthy oil for so many things, right? Not it
yeah.
helps our digestion, it's good for the skin, it's good for the hair, it's good for your like to to moisturize. It's even like I put some in my dog's food. Like it's
Hmm.
so, so healthy for us. So what are some of the things that you feel like are really important. That's just something, you know, quick and easy and simple that is a part of like your daily routine that you feel like helps keep you healthy.
Okay, so you're right about the olive oil. I have a teaspoon of olive oil nearly every other day, and on a daily basis, really, it's for me, it's more of a fruit based and trying to alkaline the body.
Right.
So I'll have a lot of juices, but naturally I'll just go and pick oranges from the field or go and pick some lemons from around the corner. I've got some lemon trees and some orange trees at the back, but I pruned them so they're just coming through. And most of all, it's amazing because I've got a fig tree there, and there's loads of fig trees in the
Ah,
village. There's grapes in the village, So realistically, the fruit around me is abundant, and it's everywhere. And every village has got trees what are just growing amazingly. So this is the one thing I love about the island because when I first come here in 2009, I was shocked. I was like, I'm spending like £4 or £5 to buy 7 oranges back in the UK. And then here I could just go and pick 132 for nothing, store up, and then I could just have oranges for all week. So that's the great thing about the island as well, because the vegetation is just abundance.
well, you also have a lot of avocados, and that's like one of the healthy, like between the olive oil and the avocados and
Yeah,
the citrus, you have the healthy fats and you have all that vitamin C, which is so important to our bodies. Uh,
yeah.
like you literally are like, I want to call it in the Garden of Eden. You have your own little Garden of Eden. And then you sent me pictures where you're growing your own food, which I think I actually, I love that. That's something I miss living on a farm. If I could live on a farm again, I absolutely would. Um, I'm going to come over and do your farming. But also we were talking about the the just the little simple things that people don't think about. Like if you have like a half of avocado every day just sliced up like in a salad or on the side of your dinner plate or something like that. Or even like with breakfast, like if you mash it up and you mix it like with a little bit of I don't use salt, but some people do. A little bit of like pepper and a little bit of cheese. I love
Hmm.
cheese. I know you have good
We do
cheese,
amazing goat cheese over here. It's beautiful.
right? And you take a little bit of goat cheese and you mix it in with the avocado on some
Yeah.
toast, on some nice warm
Yeah.
toast. That's really, really good. And then take a teaspoon of honey and you drizzle that over top. I know it sounds disgusting. Just try it. It's really good and it's really healthy for you. So
Listen, yeah. Ah, and as well, I'll just show you something quickly. There's something called uh, carob. So here you can get carob flour, and what it is this.
I
I don't
know
know
what
if
it
you
is.
have,
I love carob.
yeah. So
I
they
eat it
call
all
it,
the time because it's healthier than chocolate.
yes, and they called it over here poor man's chocolate because you know when back in the day when people couldn't afford chocolate, this is all caramelized. So you open it up and it's all got sticky, key, juicy caramel inside.
It tastes
And
so good. It tastes so, so good. Hold it up again because I've never,
so
oh
they
wow.
grow in the tree like this, and if you break it open, there are little seeds inside. And back in the day, these seeds are all the exact same size. So thousands of years ago, they used to use the seeds to actually weigh diamonds because they were the only seed what actually were identical and weighed exactly the same. So yeah, so this is
Wow. I didn't
the
know
carrot
that.
bread. Yeah, I didn't know that until 2 years ago. And the
I
carrot
love
bread,
carob. It's for anyone who's never had it, it's actually what I call healthy chocolate. It's not
yeah,
chocolate, but it has a very, very similar taste without all the sugar, and the health benefits are so much better for you.
yeah, they really, really are. It's amazing, especially the flour. The flour, you can make cakes, you can make bread. And they say the carrot bread is one of the healthiest breads in the world. So
I
this is the
believe it.
future. I want to start creating my own flour and bread in the future when I've got when everything's stable properly and do workshops on it. So this is one of the missions is to try and do workshops of how the ancient Minoans used to grow and cultivate their vegetation and their herbs. So yeah, so that's going to be amazing.
I love homemade bread, and I used to make it, but now it goes bad on me. I don't eat a lot of bread anymore. But I like, with bread, the darker it is, the healthier it is, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yes.
better to eat rye or pumpernickel rather than
Yeah.
white or sourdough
Hmm.
bread. Sourdough
Yeah.
bread is actually so healthy for you is because it has, and people are like, we think about like, I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know your history as much as American history. But when we first came to this country, before, during, and after we slaughtered the Native Americans, um, they traveled with the sourdough, okay, and it had a lot of bacteria in it, and people were saying something about, the bacteria in it, but what happened was people didn't understand was that the bacteria was actually good gut bacteria. So it was actually helping to keep these people healthy as
Yeah.
traveling on their journey because their diets weren't really balanced, weren't very balanced very well. Okay, you're thinking about the times when we're still living off of the land. You're not going to the grocery store buying a steak or buying
Yeah.
fish. You need to find a river and catch your own fish or find a buffalo or a cow or a deer or whatever
Yeah.
um, back in the day. So I feel like we're all being called into the future and on one hand, like as far as technology, but we're being called to embody the wisdom of the past on the other hand when it comes to our physical bodies, our diet and our exercise and our overall, just the little things that make such a huge difference in our overall health and well-being.
Hmm. Yeah, so true.
So what else grows over there? And if you haven't tried
Everything,
carob, you
everything
have to
really.
try carob. I can't believe they call
But
it
then
poor man's chocolate. Do you know how expensive that is here?
here it's just falling. It's a grown in abundance.
It's
There's so many carrot trees
yeah,
everywhere where it's just on the floor. You're walking past, you're like, what? It's like
it's
in my
very,
mind, I'm
very
like, I want to.
expensive here. Very expensive. And you can like I buy like cat um carob covered nuts, almost like you'd
Yeah.
buy chocolate covered nuts, like just because that's what they taste like. My grandmother used to eat that. And my grandmother's the one that when I was a kid kind of got me hooked on it. But it's very,
Mm.
very, very expensive now. I guess it's probably going to be even more expensive. Everything's getting more expensive. But
Wow.
it's you can just walk by and pick it up off the ground. Do you see how wealthy you are?
This is what I mean. This is why I love the
But that's your own business. I mean, start a business that could pay for your whole retreat. That could pay for your for everything that you need for the retreat is just to sell that.
I know it is,
Crazy.
Karen
I buy a
as
little
well.
package about this big, okay, about the size of a cell phone, right? Of carob covered, say, just like regular peanuts, right? Not even a special kind of nut. It's probably like about 7 or 8 US dollars, which would be about
Wow.
what, about 6 pounds? Six, I don't know. Wait,
Yeah. Yeah. About 6, 7 euros.
yeah,
No.
no, euro is worth more. So yeah, probably about that's about right. Because the euro is worth more than the US dollar. I was thinking pounds because I kept thinking you're from England. I forgot
Yeah.
Greece uses the euro. So very, very expensive. You're walking through
Mm.
through gold. You're
Okay.
walking
We're
on
all gonna have a
diamonds.
play now. Yeah, we do
You're
because
a
I've always said
you're a diamond in the rough, walking through diamonds in the rough.
it. Because I've said the two things what would sell amazingly would be olive leaves, because you don't understand. It's amazing how much olive leaves they get after harvesting. And I first thought in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, you can get a whole truckload for like 10 euros, 20 euros, something stupid. And I was looking online and I was like, oh my God, olive tea, look how expensive it is on Amazon. It's like 6, 8 dollars for like a small bag. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, so carob, olive leaves, and there was something else I was always fascinated about. What
Even
was it?
avocados. I mean, well, we get a lot of ours come from, well, we have a lot here in the States, but in the winter months, ours come from Mexico or South America, you know,
Yeah,
usually.
Peru,
Um, yeah, I mean,
Ecuador.
yeah, yeah. And because everything's imported, we pay so much for it. And now, well, I'm gonna have to edit this video anyway. So, but now we have all these tariffs that are supposed to go into place tomorrow. Who knows? I mean, he keeps threatening to put these tariffs in place, but then he changes his mind at the last minute. If he does that, it's going to be almost impossible for the average person to afford to eat healthy. So we're going to need to learn how to grow our own food. It's so, so important that we all learn how to do that. And I don't know if I'm
Right.
gonna edit that out or not. I might just leave it because, the facts are the facts, and it doesn't matter who the leader is. Every country is going through their own thing. And
Yeah.
these tariffs are affecting everyday people. And when I say that it's affecting their overall health and well-being, it is because it's affecting us on every level. Our mind, our body, our spirit, our emotions affect our physical health and well-being, and
Yeah.
our being able to afford to eat what our body needs to properly nourish it so that we stay healthy. And if we're not healthy and we become ill, then we get into the whole thing of, do you know how to take care of yourself holistically? Like with the tinctures, like I just recently did a tincture class, which I'm going to be doing another one. soon because that one actually sold out. I couldn't fit one more person in. And I have an upgraded Zoom and it was like 100 people. So the people that couldn't get in, I asked them, do you want to be refunded or I can do another class? And they're like, just do another class. So when I haven't started advertising yet. When I'm going to start advertising, when I get another full class, I'm going to do it like, and I charge like $20, $25, I think
Yeah.
it was. And, but I always, part of everything I do, there's, I have a, um, foundation that I donate to um, for the business, and it goes 10% of everything goes into this account. And what it does is I use it for people who want to learn that can't afford to. It's like a financial assistance program.
Well, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. I'm
So
just talking to
that's what I
my
do.
friends. Sorry, I'm just talking to my friend Justin. He's from the States and he does similar kind of things. He gets donation for his projects. He's actually coming here to Crete in April. Oh gosh, at the end of in middle of the month, with
Well,
his
wait
mum
a
and
minute.
dad.
Where does he live in the States?
I can't remember exactly. His name's Justin Wood, and
That's like
what he
Wood's a
does.
common name in the United States.
Okay, I can send you the link and you'll see
Yeah,
what.
yeah. No, I just want to hit your ride with him.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, are you flying my way? So it was a
So
Justin.
yeah, Justin. Yeah. So what he does, he's doing a similar kind of thing. But what he does is when he gets his donations, and he'll go and do a little documentary of him going to the shops, going shopping, getting the presents, and he goes around like Christmas time and other times, and he does a documentary, and as well he goes and you see him giving them to by person because in his head he has a kind of not fear, but a disagreement with certain charities because he doesn't know where the
The money
money is
goes.
actually going. So
Well,
he does it himself. It's so beautiful just to see the gratitude of the people, and he even goes to houses with families who can't afford much and gives them presents, surprise them, just puts loads of presents outside the house. It's such a phenomenal movement he's doing, and he's doing little
yeah.
projects around Europe as well. So he's doing a European tour, and I believe that he's coming here, and we're going to really put things together and see what we can do
Well,
together as
so
well. So
it's
it's pretty amazing.
unfortunate that there's so much fraud in some of these bigger charity
Yeah, I know.
organizations that you don't know who to give to because you don't know if the people who need assistance are getting the
Yeah,
assistance. So
yeah,
it's really it's kind of difficult. So that's why I thought it was best to do my own thing like that as well. And then we get to, pick and choose. And I do, and it's hard. People are like, how do you pick and choose? But there is a process. Um, because what I do is I have people kind of like write a little something about themselves, why they want to study whatever it is that I'm teaching, and what makes them feel that they are worthy.
yeah,
So I like to see their mindset, where they are, where they're coming from. I can always pick out someone who has low self-esteem. I can always pick out someone who's maybe been abused, um,
mm,
some kind of physical abuse or emotional abuse. And I try to be as balanced and as fair as I possibly can. So if I have like 20 people that I've picked out, but I may only have enough funds to cover maybe half of that, I
yeah.
put all 20 in the hat. I pull out 10, and then that money that's put aside pays for 10. And I always give three away free on me.
Amazing. So beautiful.
So even my last astrology class, there I had three people that did not pay 1 cent that are now certified astrologers. And I like that because now I know that I've given them the gift of being able to make a living, to be able to make money, to be able to do readings, or to even to teach other people, which will take a while to teach others because it takes a while. Astrology is never ending. Um, you know, I'll probably study it till the day I die because it's just ever changing. But
Yeah.
there's something that I'm a giver. I like to give. So
Mr.
I'm
Pisces,
not,
yeah.
I wasn't always good at receiving, and I still sometimes struggle with receiving because
Me
I've never really
too.
had anybody give me anything.
Yeah.
Not like that. But I've been fortunate along the way to always somehow manage to to pay for it where something comes through. I mean sometimes they're harder than others, but or maybe maybe something was late, but it was paid. So
Yeah.
I'm always grateful. That's another thing too, just a small little thing every day, just gratitude. I wake up every
It
morning,
is.
I say thank you.
Yeah, all the time, and we got to speak out as well. The things we want as well out loud because we are masters and mistresses of creation. So it's very, very important for the way we release our energy source. So for me it's a kind of, I'm always thanking the universe, I'm always thanking the ancestors, especially thanking nature, for giving me the gifts and giving me the capability to be on this plane and to live among them. So for me, it's a kind of, I have a very sacred faith of respect, and it's so, so important to respect your day when you wake up, be proud that you're here another day, you've got another day to blossom your magic into the world. So it's so, so special.
When somebody will sometimes say, "Oh, I wish I didn't wake up this morning." I'll be like, "Don't say that. Do you know how many people didn't wake up this morning?"
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sometimes we say things and we're so careless, but words are so powerful.
Yeah.
They
I'm
really
saying it all the
are.
time. Exactly. I say it all the time. I say, stop cursing. Don't say these words because you're just going to naturally attract it. Okay. Please just start to, speak and just give off your kindness inside you. If you're not
Uh,
giving it out, just make sure you're kind inside you, and your thoughts are clean. Because this is one of the reasons
right?
why I moved away from the cities, so my mind could be cleansed, could be clean, can actually think again instead of having unwanted energy sources penetrating my mind, giving me images, but they're not even mine. They're my next door
Exactly.
neighbors. So it's a kind of, yeah, we are very powerful. Um,
People, even my neighbors have said to me before that because I'm a country farm girl, like from the middle of nowhere kind of person. And I when I was working, like I guess what you would call a real job.
yeah,
Actually,
breathing.
I think this is the real work now. But what I used to call a real job, like I had to go into the city and I was so overwhelmed. Like literally, like because I'm so sensitive to to the energy, to the noise, to the sounds, to the smell. I'd be coming up on that bridge and I would be like, oh my God, I can just smell this. I could smell the city. I know it sounds ridiculous. I could
Oh,
smell the city. And I'd be like,
yeah.
oh, this is horrible, right? And they're building more and more and more and more and more around here. And I'm kind of like in this little bubble, where like, I mean, you see, right? But if you go like 4 or 5 miles in any direction, it's almost like I'm in the center of a tornado. Like, and this is the
Yeah.
calm. I'm in the calm eye, and the storm just goes all around me, kind of thing. And I don't like to go out there. It's very disruptive to my energy. It'll knock me off balance. And I don't like that. So I find myself being more selective where I go when I go out because I know that it affects my energy.
Yeah, yeah. Same as me, and that's something I've tapped into, realizing that, energy is sacred, and if we wish to bring it out to the world or even in crowds or people around us, we have to prepare ourselves to make sure we've got our shield of protection up, so we cannot be penetrated by unwanted energies. So the great thing is kind of when I go out, I don't take things personal. This is the great thing, one of the things, because when I was a kid and a teenager, even in my late adulthood, early adulthood, I used to take things personal so much.
Yeah.
And like it really used to hit me, and I could feel it inside me. What was like it was tearing me apart, and I was like, "Why? Why did you take things personal, Shah?" I could never get it. It wasn't until I come of wisdom, then it made me realize, like, listen, that's their point of view, their thought. They're talking about their self. They're not talking about you. You
Right,
know,
right.
so they're showing a reflection of you of their self outwards towards you. It ain't an attack on you. It's just them without that knowledge. So for me now, it's a kind of you can say anything you want, attack me in verbally way, and just it wouldn't affect me anyway because I can see it where it's coming from. It's coming from their deep soul. So for me, it's a kind of because I have the eye and I can have the senses alive at all times when I'm out with people. I'm constantly reading and taking information in and downloading, just because it's a kind of one, it's my self defense mechanism, and two, it's my gift to process what's in front of me in a very vast way. So it's like I'm a natural filter. We've all got it inside us.
And we often forget as human beings that hurt people hurt people. So those
Mm-hmm.
people that are behaving that way are carrying deep pain within them that they don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
process, and they're projecting it outward.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cry for help. If you
Yes.
if you if you take the behavior out of the picture and just look at the human and read their energy, not their behavior, but just
Mm.
their energy, you'll see such unbelievable pain. And I think that when I learned how to do that, I was
Mm.
able to, I want to say, embrace and embody the ability to have more compassion for those people. Those are the
Yeah.
people that I literally put at the top of my prayer list because they don't understand that they are creating their own suffering by not learning how to heal themselves.
Yeah.
And that's something that's so important. And that's an intricate part of life. And I think that's one of the things that I love about retreats and when you have the right people in place that understand things like I just said to you and what you just said to me about the projection. When you understand those things and you have the right people in place, when people come to you for healing, or they come to enjoy the process. When somebody says a retreat, they're like a vacation. I'm going to have a vacation. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to feel well. I'm going to be fixed. I'm going to be, yes, all those things can happen, but you have to be a participant in your own well-being. You can't just
Mm.
walk into a retreat and think that God's going to come down and heal you. You have to
Mm.
be open to it. You have to ask for healing. You have to want to do it, and you have to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Will you receive? Absolutely, you'll receive. But the part that the visitor plays is that they have to open their heart. They have to be willing to open that heart. They have to be willing to open to the infinite possibility that anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that their heart may be overly sensitive and hurt. And for them to open that up and expose that pain is is even more painful for them, but that
Yeah.
the overall healing process, that they'll benefit so much more from that process of revisiting that painful place where it can be healed, where that pain can be released, and then they can move forward so that when they leave with not only feeling better in the moment, but they leave with this what I call a little toolbox, right? With this information, this little toolbox that when they go home in 5 or 6 months, they're still feeling as good as what they did, that they can take some of that wisdom home with them.
Yeah.
And so that they continue to live a healthy life. I mean, obviously, we want them to come to the retreat at least once a year for a tune up. But in the meantime, not everyone can live in the retreat all year long, except for me. I'm going to stay forever. But we want them to go home with something special. We want them to be healthy. We want them to feel well. I think it's so important to is our mental health. Our mental health, nobody talked about mental health like years ago. Now it's a more open subject. You're not judged, in the same
Yeah.
way. I do still feel like there is still some judgment around it, but not like years ago. And our physical environment has a lot to do with our mental health and well-being.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I believe that too. And because I've been around this since childhood. There's so many people with mental health and scenarios, just down to schizophrenia, bipolar, all the different sorts. Um, I don't say some of these names. They say it's mental health, but my theory, as me being a witness and seeing these energy sources in front of me, is for people who are bipolar and people who are schizophrenic, they're open. They are so open they cannot close themselves off. So they are working on multi-dimensional time frames of different personalities within their DNA. So from what I saw of how people have acted in certain ways in my life, it was like, wow, okay. So you're so switched on, you can't switch yourself off. So, sometime one day you're Gary, next minute you're Adam, and then in the next minute you're George. You have all these different personalities, but my theory is that they are you, but just in different time frames, and you've just got
Right.
them all coming through that vessel, just working at a million miles an hour.
Well, part of it too is kind of like which timeline are they on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I don't know if you're aware of it. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. I'm gonna have to look it up. But the new study on autistic children that they
Yeah,
actually communicate telepathically.
yeah, they're on a higher plane.
And I've always said that I felt like autistic children that were the ones that don't verbally communicate, because some do verbally, some are what they call functioning, and some they consider non-functioning. What they consider to be non-functioning, non-communicative, communicative children,
Mm,
that they're telepathic, that they have their own
yeah,
language that we don't even understand. I've always
mm,
felt that. I've always
same.
I've always felt that they are at such a high level of intelligence that, for lack of a better way of wording it, that
Mm,
they're so advanced, we're so beneath them that they don't even, that's why they don't know how to communicate with us, because they don't know how to
yeah,
communicate at a 3D level, because they're
exactly.
like in the 12th or 13th dimension.
Yeah, it's the same as my son. My son gets, they said that he was ADHD, and it was a kind of when he was living with me, when I took custody of him, and when I put him back into school, I made sure I told him, I said, listen, Ty, whatever they classify or put you, it's just a name, okay? You're a multi-dimensional being, and what you can see and feel is you are on different planes. So don't worry about them. Just do your own thing. And he's got like a kind of a photographic memory, and especially his words. his rhymes, his music he makes. He can remember. I can't. I wish I could. You know, I can't remember four lines if I tried to write it down and try and repeat it and even try and sing it in a tone that I need it. It's like I'm not saying it's impossible. It might be something that might occur in my life, but he's naturally gifted, and I'm like, wow, you know. And he has this.
It. Those children are highly, highly intelligent. Highly
Yes.
intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, I my brother, um, which well, when I was a kid, we didn't have ADHD yet, so they called them hyperactive children.
Yeah.
Okay, that was before ADD and ADHD. And my brother was the kind of person that could not tie his shoes. But to this day, my brother remembers things that I don't remember at all. He'll go, "Do you
Mm,
remember when we were kids and blah, 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 blah." And I'll be like, that didn't happen. He goes, yes, it did. He could give me a date, a time, and a place. And I'm like, really? Like, I don't remember that at all.
yeah.
So it's funny how we and our even like astrologically, our signs oppose each other. My brother and I are so complete opposite. He's a born again Christian. He thinks I'm possessed crazy. Like he doesn't understand the energy work that I how I work with energy. Um, but you know, as he would say, he loves me anyway.
Mm.
I'm not really sure how to take that sometimes, but because I know he thinks that I'm a little not all there. But yeah, these people are highly, highly, highly gifted. So
Yeah.
I want to say to you that you live in the land of milk and honey, the Garden of Eden, with all the beautiful things and all of the. What do you do? What do you do for exercise? I mean, other than swim. Oh my God. I have to say that is some of the cleanest water I've seen. The last time I saw water that blue was Aruba when I like even well, the Bahamas, the water is pretty clean. In Florida, certain parts of Florida, but our ocean is not as clean and clear as how beautiful is that over
Yeah,
there?
it's so blue and green, you know, in different sides of the island is different colors, but it's just yeah, the sea is number one. So for exercise, what I do usually it's just walking because I'm in a village where it's hilly everywhere. So you know, but for me, I do my workout. I just 20 minutes in the morning, and sometimes 20 minutes in the afternoon, and that's just me putting some Afro beats on, and then away I go. You know, and
Hey,
it's so cool.
walking and dancing and biking are like that's all you really need. You don't need to be in a gym lifting these big, weights.
Your own body weight's enough, you know, your own body weight's enough,
Well,
and you'd be
especially when
surprised.
doing mountains. I learned that after I moved here because when I first started when I first went hiking here, I literally came back and laid on the sofa and they're like, "Oh, come on, you want to go hiking?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll go hiking. I walk all the time, right? I'm somebody that would walk like 3 miles a day, right?"
Yeah,
I did that hike and you're up and you're down and you're going back and forth. And then we got to the top and then I looked down, I was like, oh shit. You mean I gotta go all the way back down there and then back up there and then across to get back to my car? And they're like, yep. I'm like, oh, we're not coming here again. Like I literally, I have to say, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say a curse word. That kicked my ass.
yeah.
Next day, my legs hurt, my feet hurt, my back hurt. I'm like, oh my God, I
It's
feel like I got beat up because
yeah,
I'm a flatlander, right?
yeah,
Flatland, give me the beat, Um, so I wasn't used to it. Not that I had never been to the mountains before, but I wasn't used to it. And then even the altitude, like
yeah.
I breathe differently now because I'm at a higher altitude. Like when I first came here, I wasn't feeling really well, and I said to the doctor, I go, "This is crazy. Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "It sounds like it's your body adjusting to the altitude, even the way I
Mm,
cook." because I wasn't, I didn't even think about, and I'm like, how many
Yeah.
times have I looked at a box and it says, if you live at a higher altitude, that it had special directions that I never paid attention to because I didn't live at a higher altitude, right?
Mm.
So, and then, yeah, a lot of things. So walking is just like something so simple, and dancing, and well, you have all of the village there, and you have these like gatherings every week where everyone eats and dances and plays music, and so that's a lot, right? I think that's such a beautiful kind of community. Like I miss that.
Is, especially when we get the community, when we're all together. But even in the village, there's always tavernas having live music with, Greek instruments, and there's always some sort of gathering happening somewhere, you know, especially like when we go to barracks, when at Padisia, a place to relax. Um, it's just amazing because it's just full of so many cultures, people around the world who come there and just migrate there. And it's like a super tribe bond. The minute they come here, they release the unwanted frequency and then they bring in what they've called upon. And this land makes it happen. It really, really does.
There's something in the energy that I picked up on when I was looking, because you sent me like about 200 pictures.
Yeah, you wanted
No,
them.
I
That's
went
right.
through every one of them more than once.
Yeah, yeah,
But there is something in the energy that I picked up on in the pictures, that there's
yeah.
almost like this bubble. Like and I'm not really sure what to call it. I don't like of
It's
protection,
protect
but
you.
it's more than
Yes,
protection.
exactly.
It's protection, it's awareness,
Yeah,
it's an openness. It's like it's almost like when you enter this bubble, your heart breaks open,
it does.
and it allows the healing process. That that people that would normally never show their emotions on a daily basis, um, in a more populated area, it's almost like they become totally different people. They
So
become
yeah,
the truest version of themselves.
yeah, exactly. The purest version I was going to say, exactly. And that's what it is. And then with people who can't resonate with me, unfortunately, the island will make them go home, into this can't stay here. It's resonating on such a high frequency.
Yeah, there's no in between. It's either they they automatically feel like they're at home,
Yeah,
or they immediately leave. Because they can't, what it is they can't hold that energy, or they're not
yes,
ready for that level of that
yeah,
frequency of energy. But
exactly.
I would love to test I wish I knew somebody. I don't know anybody over there that could actually test the frequency, because I'm wondering, like when I'm tuning in, it's always like at least 528 hertz or higher when I'm tuning in, which is where
Yeah,
healing frequency begins. I believe it
yeah.
begins at 528. I'm not sure. But I feel like that frequency there is like off the charts, depending on where you are on the
It's,
island. Like it's
yeah,
different places of the island, the frequency is different. And I also think that's why there's such an abundance of fresh herbs. When you
yeah,
telling me about the herbs, and I was thinking about how much money I pay for the herbs that I buy organic dried herbs, and I make my tinctures from them, which I was just looking around, but I carried it out into the kitchen because it's too sunny here. I don't like it in the sun because it takes away the effectiveness. Um,
yeah,
but you know, herbs are easy to grow on one hand, but on another hand, the environment of the herb and the health of the herb when I create the tinctures, the overall effect of the finished product has to do not only with your openness, but with the health on the environment that the plant was grown in. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but
No,
it's
I
so it's like
100%.
if I grow, say, an avocado in
Yeah.
downtown New York City in a pot, and you're growing avocados over there naturally that they're just falling off the trees in Greece, which avocado do you think is the healthiest and why?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it's kind of like for us, it's a no-brainer. And then there's other people
Mhm.
that go, well, an avocado is an avocado. No, it's not, because the one that's being grown in New York City is being exposed to toxic pollution all day long. Okay. The one on where you are is not being exposed to all that pollution, to all those toxic things, to all those harsh fertilizers and chemicals. I'm sure either you're not fertilizing or they're being naturally fertilized by the animals in the environment, right? So
Yep.
people don't think about that. When somebody will buy something, that's why I make sure everything is 100% organic and I pay the extra money. And sometimes I don't have as big a selection, but I'd rather have a smaller selection and a quality product than this 50 products and maybe they're crap. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not doing what they should be doing because it's not the quality that that you need. So I find it really interesting whenever I find little things like that. Like I would be like a kid in a candy store over there. Because it's like you were talking about the olive leaf, the olive tea. I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know, they don't even know what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I like even the flowers, like the like let me see, like off the top of my head, hibiscus tea, chamomile tea. Like it's
Yeah.
so healthy for you. And these are medicine. People don't understand. These are medicine. These are things that help keep you healthy. Chamomile and lavender, um, the tea or the tincture, it helps with stress. It helps with sleep. It helps calm the nervous system if you're upset
Yes.
about something. It also like lavender can be used for almost anything. Like it's crazy what lavender does. People don't even realize the power of lavender. And and the flowers like dandelions. My
Mm.
grandmother ate dandelions when I was a kid. These people act like it's something new. Oh, do you know how healthy dandelions are? I'm like, yeah, well, my grandmother used to eat them when I was a kid and it used to gross me out. Now I'm old and I eat them too.
Yeah.
So there's just so many little things that we could do to stay healthy. Um, I love that you have this opportunity in your life to not only share with us, but to share with for yourself, that you've taken time to heal yourself
Mm.
now so that you can share it with others, which is what your calling has always been.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah, and I feel like this is why I had to go through a crash course of life, such a small period of time, so I could learn, understand, and especially most of all is to feel how people react over certain scenarios and certain trauma and certain ways. So for me, it's a kind of I knew it was a test since day one, when the stuff happened to me and around me, I knew I was being tested. I was like, rah. So now because I closed off. I didn't want to open up. I told myself I didn't want to open up because I knew I'd see things what I didn't want to see. It was bad enough of feeling it and experiencing it. So I didn't want to see these other entities come in form. So now I've come with time and age. It's a kind of I'm open up to the max. So it's a kind of I'm having entity beings come and talk to me. I'm having and nature to guide me. So it's a kind of I'm on this level of understanding that I'm not a guru, okay, but I'm a person who has gone
No
through
one is.
experience.
They just think
Yeah,
they are.
exactly.
They
Yeah,
just
I
think
never,
they
yeah,
are. I don't
yeah,
even
I've
like
never,
that word.
I don't either, end of the day, so, we're all just teachers and messengers to each other and to oneself, of course.
I think
So,
we're all students of the universe.
mhm,
And I think that some of us become what I call keepers of wisdom that just
yeah,
play it forward.
naturally, yeah,
That's
it's
it.
just the flow.
And everyone has gifts. I like when people, or I don't like when people say, but there's nothing special about me. Well, if there wasn't anything special about you, you wouldn't be here because there's something special about everyone. And,
Yeah,
you know, and stop looking for it because the harder you look, the more you're looking right at it and you don't see it. Let it find you because it always
it's a,
finds you. 30 years ago, if you would have told me I would have been having this conversation with some guy over in Greece that was walking around barefoot, eating carob and picking avocados, I would have thought you were crazy.
yeah, too right, yeah.
Now I'm like, where's my ticket? Where's my ticket? Need I need 2 tickets to paradise. I need to find out what the regulations are too about what do you call it with the dogs. But yeah. I'd like to come check things out for a little bit. I don't think I would bring my dogs on the first trip, but if I decide I'm gonna stay, then I have to bring my dogs. My two little
Yeah, of course.
munchkins. They're sleeping right behind me. They're only about this big. I'm used to having big dogs, but I'm not allowed to have big dogs here. So I
Uh,
have uh I call him Magic Maverick because
Magic Maverick, yeah.
yeah, that's his name, Magic Maverick. And well, I wanted to name him Magic and he wouldn't answer to his name. And one day I said to him, "You're such a maverick." And his ears went up and I'm like, "Oh, I guess he wanted to pick his own name." And pay attention to the animals, pay attention. Nature, nature. I'm very serious now. Is your best teacher. All you
Hmm.
have to do is watch what the animals do. Watch how the animals behave. When the birds stop singing, when it gets dark, what animals come out in the dark, who hunts in the
Hmm.
dark and who hunts during the day, and why.
Yeah,
You learn so much from these animals, right?
yeah,
The way that and what are their special gifts? Like an owl can see in the dark. An owl comes out at night. A fox hunts at night. Other animals only come out during the day. You don't really see birds flying around at night except for owls and maybe a couple of other rare breeds, right?
yeah,
Oh, we think about people don't think about what they can learn from the animals. And I want to say that I probably learned about 80% of who I am through the animals, through nature,
yeah.
through walks in the woods with my grandmother as a child when she would point out every plant, name the plants and the animals, and that's the footprints, like these are deer and these are the rabbits and these are this and that, and and well, herbs we grew on the farm, but there were also wild mushrooms. Like my grandfather he was good with mushrooms. I would
Mhm.
never truly trusted myself with mushrooms. Like there are people that are excellent at it. For myself, I would do it, but I wouldn't do it for strangers because I would never want to hurt someone by mistake. Mushrooms, you have to be really, really, and my eyesight is not as good as it used to be, but
Yeah,
very healthy for you as well. Mushrooms and not the psychedelic ones. Well, those will take you on a trip. They could be healthy in a way too, because actually, no joking, in all seriousness, they can, and I'm not a drug user, um, but certain species of the psychedelic mushrooms can really help open you up.
yeah, for real. I remember in the UK when there are a mushroom called Liberty caps. They're grown everywhere in the UK. Not everywhere, only where there's ex-farmland or where there was ex-cattle or sheep or goats. So me and my friends, we used to go out at just before the first frost, and we used to go and gather and collect as a group of us, 10 of us. So we're all going to collect it, and then we'll just dry them out and prepare them, and then make a tea. And the great thing is, there was one time where I was so ill, I had like flu symptoms, the day just before, when you're going to be in bed for like 2 weeks. They're like, Shah, come on, come and have some of this tea. I was like, no, I don't really want to. But somehow, some reason I did. And so I was like, okay, come on then, let's go. So I went over there and we all drank the tea and we all had a little experience. I woke up the healthiest than I was ever. The
Yeah.
flu symptoms just went straight away. And it was a kind of wow, because I know my body, I knew I was coming down. I knew it was going to really hit me. But I was so fascinated. I was just going around telling everyone, it's a medicine. We don't even know it. It's a super medicine. We need to do some more research about it.
I know. Listen, there's been so much research done on it. People just need to open their minds. They just think of it, from a drug aspect,
It's nature.
especially our
But
go especially our governments. Well,
yeah,
some of it's
I
legal,
know.
some of it's not. But it depends
But
on where you live.
they used
Depends
to
on
have in the states, on the borders of the states actually, ayahuasca drips. So they've done an experiment and they were trying to help people to overcome any really true mental health trauma and an addiction, the highest addiction down to crack, heroin.
yeah.
And they had 99% successful rate, but the government didn't like it. And so what did they do? They went down and they took them all down and they were said they were drug users and you're poisoning, blah, blah, blah. But
There are still some places. I know there's like one or two in Florida. I'm not sure if there's some in Arizona. I believe I believe it's legal on the Indian reservations because technically that's
it's their medicine.
it's not government land, it's not supposed to be anyway. They have their own laws, their own system. If you are um can't think of the word. If you're on a Native American land. I can't think of it. Jesus, I don't know where my brain went. But um I mean, my grandmother being Native American, I've known about that my whole life. It's,
Yeah,
it seems new to people now. I think, I think there are, because of social media, there's a new awareness to just old wisdom.
yeah, it is. And it gives, this is what I mean, it gives the chance for the ancient times to bounce back into a reality now. So now people are finding the remedies and people are talking about the old ways because this is the one thing in the Western world is we're losing our wisdom of our elders. It's not getting passed down anymore because the children and young adults are so brainwashed down to the basic unwanted material life. They are, they don't want nothing to do with it. They're just happy to go and play their computer games, go and buy their dress, go and do their sexy TikTok or their sexy Instagram. It's all about showing off, and it's not about actually showing what's deep, deep within out. It's all just
Right.
a fakeable. So now it's so beautiful that you're seeing a movement of people who want to share this knowledge back out. So again, this is where the internet is a two-headed sword. But if we can focus and balance it, then it can be the best gift ever because the information and knowledge is phenomenal. I've known so many people to use the internet to build stuff, to grow stuff, and to actually, bring vegetation back into their life.
That's the important thing is that I think that for me, wealth is health, right? Because if you don't have your health, you're not able to do anything else. So
No, you're
for
not.
me, wealth begins with health and overall well-being. And I just think
Yeah.
that there's just a few quick and easy things that we can do every single day to keep ourselves healthy, Does that mean that you're never going to get sick? No.
Mm,
You're still going to have, things that you're going to be exposed to. But
exactly.
what it does mean is that your body is strong enough to fight whatever it is that you're exposed to, that you might not need that antibiotic, that you might not need that other medication that could maybe fix one day problem but cause another problem. You know,
Yeah.
I try to stay as holistic as I possibly can. I
Yeah.
mean,
Same.
there have been times like oh, well, a little over a year, about a year and a half ago, I had pneumonia really, really bad for about 6 months. And I was in and out of the hospital. So I did have to, my body was just, I got to a point where I was so weak, I couldn't. And it was honestly, to be honest with you, it was right after I moved here. And I think it was part of my body recalibrating to the environment.
Yeah.
I never
Detox.
went down so hard, so fast for so long like that. And for a while there, I was like, am I going to make it through this kind of thing? And I'm not somebody who thinks like that, but
Yeah.
it was a tough bout of pneumonia. So, yeah. All right, honey. Well, I think we're good. It's time for us to end for today, and then I will see you on Thursday. But thank you for joining me, and for everyone who has hung in with us. Thank you. We want to send you a
Yeah.
lot of love. Remember to
Thank you.
like and share our videos. We appreciate your support as we grow this channel into something beautiful and wonderful. We don't even really know yet. And thank you for taking this journey with us. As always, Shah, I'm going to send you my love. Thank you for sharing Greece with me. I'm so envious. I want you to know that
Oh.
I'm so envious in a kind and loving way. It's the one time that I wish my broom was charged up that I could just
Yeah.
I just want to be like Samantha Stevens, remember Bewitched, and just
Yes.
my
Go.
nose,
Ting.
twitch my nose. I feel like it's such a healthy environment. There's such beautiful protective energy there.
Yeah. And you know, I was going to say next time I'm going to share my first dream on the island. So I was here
Ooh.
for just one day, and oh my universe! It's a full blown movie. It's a series. There's a book. I'm not. It's amazing. I'm even scared to say it just in case someone nicks the idea. But if someone nicks the idea, so be it, because it was a story need to be told.
Well,
So
we will have the video to prove. And I know what you mean about nixing the ideas because I've had that happen to me in the past. But you know what? It always comes back full circle. So the universe
yeah,
takes care of those things on its own. Yeah, it makes sure that the balance comes out. But I'm going to send you a lot of love and
and
please take care of yourself. And I will see you on Thursday. And
indeed,
you share what you want to share. But if
of
there's,
course,
you know where I am. All you have to do is
yeah.
give me a call.
Ring
I
ring.
love
Okay.
you. And
Blessings for everyone.
and both of us love all of you. So as always, thank you for your continued support. And share. Remember the self-care journal. I am giving away. I
Ooh,
have 8 left, 8 free journals to anyone who likes and shares our videos with 3 people. Just drop underneath of the video that you shared it and the names of the people that you shared the video with. And your name will go into a bowl and I will do a drawing. I've already pulled out some, so we will continue with that. And this is a beautiful journal. It really is a beautiful journal. This one's for women. And actually, I was thinking maybe you and I could work on one for men.
of course. Why not? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, something for men so that, and then we'll have one for women and one for men. And then when they come out to your retreat, we can make this part of the package.
This is what I said.
You
Yeah,
don't
long
get
time ago.
this, you don't get rich with books, okay? Just like I think a whole like It's not even $3 profit on these. All right. So you don't get rich on books. So it's not about making money. It's about giving someone something that they can journal their experience, take it home with them, and refer back to it when they get home and they need it. So since we have one for women, I need a guy to help me work on one for men because I need the masculine perspective.
Okay, so we
And
will
then
create.
maybe we could do one together with children. Maybe you could you have children, young children, so maybe you can bring your kids in and they could come up with some ideas and we could turn it into a book and put their name on it.
That's amazing. They would love that. They would love
Yeah,
that. They
yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
would.
Yeah. All right. I love you. Take care. Bye,
Love
everyone.
you.
See you on
Bye bye.
Thursday. Let's see. And